Thanks so much for visiting Tea and Butty on YouTube. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.
Hello and welcome to the Tea and a Buddy podcast. I'm Dominic.
And I'm Erica.
It's a very serious podcast today, all about the coronavirus.
Yes.
It's coming to get us all.
I don't mean to laugh, you guys, but the way he started this podcast is just like, hello, we're here tonight
breaking news,
bringing you some devastating news across the land,
across the world. There's this new outbreak called the coronavirus.
No,
it's just, yeah.
I mean, I get,
it's a valid health concern.
Yeah.
But there's people taking it too seriously and others not taking it seriously enough.
Yeah.
There's got to be like a balance, I think.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And, we debated whether or not to do this podcast because we were just like...
But we were looking at social media and seeing all the ridiculous stuff that's coming out, and it's just that we felt like we needed to wade in and do the facts.
Literally everyone
fact check
on our social media, whether they're in Britain or America, are posting pictures of their grocery stores being out of toilet paper, water, like things like Tylenol, hand soap.
It's just all so ridiculous.
I mean, yeah.
People panic buying this stuff, and it's, the supply and demand. But what's worse is the people who are genuinely need this stuff are going to the store and it's not there.
Right.
And it's mainly because you'd think, it's everyone panic buying and and that's a small percentage of it. It's price gougers.
Yeah.
It's price gougers. They're buying up a load of it, and they're selling it online for $200 a pop. It's just ridiculous. Hand soap, toilet roll, it's coming up on eBay or Craigslist or wherever.
eBay and Amazon now are supposed to be cracking down
on you people.
Yeah, like they're like, no, we're gonna, if you're trying to charge these astronomical prices for these things, we're gonna, like,
it's a security crackdown.
We're gonna close your account because you can't do this. On one hand, you say, well, it's supply and demand.
But it's really just ridiculous. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, it's kind of like, you can look at it's a double-edged sword. You can look at it this way. Shame on you for selling a bottle of hand soap that you could get for $2.
For $200.
For $200. Yeah. And it's shame on you for buying it for $200.
Yeah.
Because it's like, what ridiculousness. You paid $1 for that in Dollar Tree.
Yeah.
And they probably got it from Dollar Tree. They probably got, like, I don't know, 10 of them.
I mean,
and now they're selling them for $1,000 each.
I mean, is anybody actually buying it for that amount?
It'd be interesting to see if there were.
Yeah.
But I bet there are. I bet there's people like that, who really do not know what's going on, and they're just like, oh, it's all gone. I've got to buy this. This is the last one. We need the soap. We need the toilet roll. Oh, it's going to run out.
So, okay, let's back up a little bit.
Let's back up.
In case you have no idea what we're even talking about, we're talking about the coronavirus, which
it's a World Health Organization favorite.
Actually, it's a specific strain of the coronavirus, because the coronavirus...
It's a large family of viruses.
Yeah.
It's not a new thing.
It's basically the common cold, isn't it?
Yeah, it causes illness ranging from the common cold to more severe diseases as Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, MERS, and severe acute respiratory syndrome, which is SARS, which I've heard about before. You get that in when you're it's like
that was a big thing several years ago.
Again, that's it's like Ebola.
Yeah,
it's like these things like happen, and then like people start freaking out because there's a lot of deaths in it.
Yeah,
and people are freaking out because this is a new strain. It's called a novel coronavirus.
Yeah.
NCOV, and it's a new strain that has not been previously identified in humans. Common signs of infection include respiratory symptoms, fever, cough, shortness of breath, and breathing difficulties. In more severe cases, infection can cause pneumonia, severe acute respiratory syndrome, kidney failure, and even death.
Yeah. I mean, but that's probably true in more severe cases of
anything
cold or
any cold, yeah,
flu or any, respiratory infection. I saw this doctor on some news program, and she was saying that pretty much everybody has had a version of the coronavirus in their life.
It's a common cold, common flu, yeah.
Yeah. It's just the fact that this is a strain that we've never seen, and it's spreading because people who have it are just like, oh, it's just a cold.
It's just a cold, and they're not taking hygiene very seriously.
Yeah,
they're not taking hygiene very seriously, and the standard recommendations to prevent infection spread include regular hand washing, covering mouth and nose when coughing and sneezing, not buying a mask and covering your mouth and nose for just breathing and walking around, because you're just making it worse then.
Yeah.
You're creating a breeding ground for virus to spring up.
I had never ever thought about that before, but these people, and it must be true all over Asia. You know how in Asia a lot of the times, and they are wearing the masks not to catch diseases, but because the air quality is not really
it's smog. Yeah.
But possibly that's why these diseases start in China and places like that. It's because you have people wearing these masks all the time. And I had never thought about it, but you're wearing these masks, you're breathing in and out, your breath is moist, obviously, which creates a moisture level in the mask. So the mask is like damp, essentially, after you've had it on for so long. And the dampness basically is attracting all the viruses and everything.
It's going to grow it's bacteria and everything. Yeah, it's perfect breeding ground for them.
It's just like...
So you're just signing your own... Well, I don't want to say death warrant, but
yeah.
But it's like you're signing. You're going to get sick by thinking you're not. By doing that.
Right. It's a good idea for people who are sick to wear the masks.
Yes, if you're sick, then you don't spread it to anyone else. You're just fighting it yourself.
But healthy people should not be wearing the masks, because you're basically just going to, if someone sneezes or coughs near you that has something, not even the coronavirus necessarily.
Just sneezes because of allergies or something.
You're more likely to catch it because your mask is all warm and moist. Yeah. And it's like a perfect breeding ground for that.
And coughing and whatever, respiratory illness such as coughing and sneezing. Avoid close contact with anyone showing symptoms of that.
Mm.
And thoroughly cook your meat and eggs as well.
Okay.
So it can be no more steak tartare for you.
So it can be spread through meat.
I mean, it can. It's bacteria. At the end of the day, it's like that'll kill the virus.
A virus and a bacteria are two different things.
Well, yeah, I know, but that's where it starts. The virus, gets in, it infects the meat.
Yeah, well, if someone who's had it, I imagine, if they're...
I mean, it's the bacteria on things that could cause it. Could cause the virus, Could trigger it. So.
Yeah.
China, though. China's the hardest hit country, because that's where the new strain of coronavirus originated from. And, yeah, I mean, they've been rushing to build hospitals and everything, and I think one of them collapsed. Some hotel or something collapsed because there's so many people in there were contaminated with the virus, and they trying to shove them all in. And the whole hotel just went. I read that somewhere.
They were putting all the sick people in the same place
to quarantine them. Yeah, they were trying to quarantine them, and then the whole place collapsed. And then they built a hospital. Well, they built a hospital within a week or something, didn't they? Or 2 weeks or something?
Yeah, well, they were rushing to, because basically what happens with these bugs is...
They get out of control, they can't find a vaccine
in the hospitals particularly, it's difficult to keep the place clean.
Yeah.
I mean, as horrible as that sounds, makes you never want to go to a hospital, but, staph infection and all of that runs rife in hospitals.
Yeah.
And it's just like, so... Instead of just continuing to use these hospitals where people have been infected and, there's been so many infections, let's just build a new place.
And they built it with record time,
Yeah.
They quickly just bounced it up, because, I mean, they haven't found an antidote or a,
Yeah.
whatever to this or vaccine to this yet.
Oh,
so
I saw a doctor on a panel is saying
it could be a while.
Well, yeah, vaccines.
And then there's people going, there's people trying to downplay the panic.
Vaccines take kind of years
to
usually
perfect.
to develop and to test and to make sure that there's no side effects, and it's like we can't just develop a vaccine and start administering it,
Yeah, and that's what people are like, oh, get the vaccine, get the stuff, And of course then there's people going, no, I'm not going to get vaccine, I don't vaccine my kids.
Yeah.
There's those groups of people.
Yeah.
And it's just that's what's happening, It's just like it's very crazy at the time. It's almost like a pandemic.
Yeah.
I think, it pretty much is at the moment, because, Italy is on lockdown. The entire country is on lockdown.
And did you find any reason as to why China is the first hardest hit country, and then Italy after China? I don't understand.
It was what happened was it was China, then South Korea, and then Iran, who were the hardest hit 3 countries in the world. For whatever reason.
South Korea, okay, that makes sense. It's
Iran,
nearby. It's nearby China.
Yeah, I don't know what the link was there.
Yeah, because that's.
But then Italy suddenly overtook them with I don't know if it must be hygiene standards. There must be a hygiene standard somewhere.
Well, Italy, I'm just thinking okay, it's really...
You're thinking it's spreading from, people going from China to Italy or Italy from South Korea, or Iran or whatever. But I think it's mainly hygiene, because a lot of people are just saying it's hygiene. Wash your hands, don't get into stuff.
Well, it's hygiene, but we're not saying that Italians are unhygienic.
Yes, no.
It's just the fact that these places are compact, I guess.
There's a lot of people.
There's
a lot of people,
proximity. Yeah. And so you have things like
proximity,
subway and stuff like that, subway meaning metro or underground systems. Not like Subway sandwiches.
Subway sandwiches. What do you like?
But you have places like that, and you have a lot of people in close proximity, and public transportation, and just things like that. A lot of tourists and people.
Things just spread really quickly. I'm guessing because there's a lot of things being said that China misreported what's going on because it's the Chinese government and they want to downplay everything.
Well,
oh no, it's not that. But then people got in there and found out that it actually was worse than what it was.
Well, I have an aunt. My uncle is married to a Chinese citizen. I don't believe that she's become an American citizen yet, but she lives over here. But she spent enough time in China to know
what it's like.
What it's like, yeah. And she said that happens all the time on the news, that they always report less. If
something
there's something serious happening,
they always say, nah, it's not that serious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it is.
Whereas in America, I hate to say it, but we like to play up the drama.
Oh, some guy died.
In the media,
yeah.
Not necessarily anywhere else, but in the media, we love to, if someone's been attacked by a shark, for instance, off the coast of Florida.
All sharks are getting humans now. They're targeting humans.
Well, they look for the cases where it's happened,
and
to make it sound
sensationalize them.
To make it sound like, shark attacks are on the rise. You know what I mean? When really it's just like, it's the same as it's always been. Yeah, there's a lot of people swimming in the waters of Florida. There's a lot of people swimming in the waters of California. It's just somebody's going to get attacked by a shark every now and then. Because that's where sharks live.
It's not an epidemic or whatever.
Yeah, it's not something that's all of a sudden happened. But you do hear about that because the media likes to just amp up the drama, basically.
But funnily enough, on this, they're not. There hasn't been that many cases over in the USA anyway.
I think because you have a lot of doctors getting on to them and saying, stop this, because we don't...
Stop
could be really serious.
Creating fear-mongering, basically. Yeah, stop... Yeah.
Yeah.
And China, I don't know what it was in the beginning. They were reporting stuff. This is according to worldometer.info. which lists the countries and the cases and the deaths of related to the coronavirus.
Mm-hmm.
China has over 80,000 cases.
Yeah.
And over 3,000 deaths.
Yeah, jeez.
So they're in the lead as far as it goes, you know. With that.
Hopefully it's not a contest.
Well, it's not, you know, in the lead of that kind of thing, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, people talking about, you know, this is as of the 10th of March.
Mm-hmm.
So Italy, South Korea, and Iran are the worst hit countries after China, with nearly 10,000 cases being reported in each country.
Iran, I don't understand, because that's not, you know, like I said before, South Korea I can understand because it's near in proximity to China, but Iran I don't understand necessarily.
I mean, I don't know how...
It's just got to be travel patterns, like there
travel
must be...
patterns, yeah.
Yeah. Iran must be a hub for people to stop at when traveling out of China or something, going
yes.
west. I don't know. Yeah,
but China, over 80,000 cases reported and over 3,000 deaths. Italy then, and it was only in the last couple of days that they jumped ahead of Iran and South Korea. They've got over 10,000 cases reported and 631 deaths.
Gosh.
And they've got their country on lockdown. The Prime Minister, Giuseppe Conte, he said, don't go anywhere without special permission, restrict movement, try not to get out of your house, you know, and it's been a nightmare for them, you know, it's a nightmare. You can't do that over here, obviously, because it's so vast. The UK is preparing for containment and preparing to, like, say, don't go out unless necessary and stuff, but they haven't done that yet. Because it's like, you're not going to stop people from leaving their house, you know? Who's going to drive around? Who's going to enforce that?
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. That would take a lot of manpower to make sure that people are staying in their houses. And also, just genuinely, how do you do that? Because people need food,
it would be like martial law. You know, at the end of the day, you know, you'd have to get the National Guard or whoever to come round streets and say, oh, you're out of your house, get back in there, I'll kill you, you know?
So basically, I think what they've done, because we know a couple people in Italy, and one of them was going to go to work today. So what they must have done was just say, we recommend that you stay
We strongly
at home.
Recommend, I think it was a strong recommendation. There is no more time or something.
Don't go out unless it's absolutely necessary.
The statement sounded a bit dramatic from the Prime Minister, but
Oh, yeah.
It was a little bit, there is no more time, we've got to contain this now, and, you know, he did a public address, and...
I mean, the problem with trying to contain it, I think, is that the symptoms are so general. You know
don't
what
know.
I mean?
Yeah, I mean, people are just coming in
cough,
and saying,
like, I've got a
coronavirus.
It could be allergies. You know, you're coughing because you've got allergies. It could be the flu. It could be so many different things. It could be just the fact maybe you're a smoker and you cough all the time.
Yeah.
You know? So it's kind of like, how do you know? You know, can you imagine working at the hospital or the doctor?
I cannot.
As a doctor, just a
must
doctor's
be absolutely
office?
Pandemonium.
Yeah, everybody who's got a cough is running to see the doctor.
I've got a cough. What's happening to me? Oh. Yeah. Iran's got over 8,000 cases reported and 291 deaths.
Yeah.
South Korea, 7,000 cases, 58 deaths. Mm-hmm. France, then, has 1,000 cases, or over 1,000 cases, and 33 deaths.
Yeah.
Spain, again, 1,000 cases, 35 deaths. The USA, 822 cases have been reported.
Yeah.
Because I think that's spiked in the last couple of days.
Seems like it, yeah.
28 deaths reported.
I mean, we have to remember that there's a lot of people.
There's a lot of people,
US.
Yes.
There's a lot of people.
I mean,
in
60 million people in Italy are now on lockdown,
Yeah.
Well,
10,000
trying
cases.
To be, anyway.
Well, okay, I'll let you finish and then...
Yeah, there's the UK has got 373 reported cases and only 6 deaths.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So, I mean, obviously 3,000 deaths is a lot of deaths.
Yeah.
But we would have to look at when did this strain pop up? You know what I mean?
It was in February sometime, I think.
Was it just... It wasn't. That was just last month.
I think it was in February when it's... Well, I mean, we don't know because the thing is that's with the Chinese government. Again.
Yeah,
releasing information.
that's
That's only when it got out.
Right.
You know, so it could have been going for like months beforehand, you know. And it's just the Chinese government saying, "Oh, yeah, this it's just a thing, you know."
Because obviously,
don't worry about it.
Because obviously, 3,000 deaths is a lot. But when you look at it in relation,
when you look at the population of China too,
well, when you look at it in relation of 80,000 cases, 3,000, and obviously, if you're the family of any of these 3,000 people who have died, you know, it's terrible for you. But when you look at it in relation, you know, 80,000 cases, 3,000 deaths, it's not really that much. It's not even 10%. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not really that much. But again, we can't, I hate to say this, but we can't take them at their word. Yeah. Since they've tried to like...
Okay, well then go to another country. I mean, can you take any of the countries?
Yeah, because they're not going to say, "Oh no, we're okay here. We're okay over here. People are everyone's dead, but we're okay." You know, it's just it got out from China because there's so many people there.
You know, Italy's got 10,000 cases, 631 deaths.
Yeah.
You know, it's like. Yeah, right.
You know, it's up and down. You know, it's like balancing the scale.
Yeah, I mean, USA 822 cases, 28 deaths. You know, it's like...
And could it, you know, it's just, it was related to the coronavirus. It's just like, well, they might have just been old and had pneumonia.
Right.
Anyway.
Their immune systems. And I think that is true. I think it's mostly affecting people whose immune systems are already sort of weakened in some way, you know, whether you're elderly or whether you have asthma or whether you have some other
respiratory ailment,
risk factor, you know what I mean?
What we need to say though is, I know this is just because it goes around on Facebook and whatever, but anyone, regardless of an ethnicity, can catch the coronavirus. People think having to stay away from Chinese people,
or
not order Chinese takeout is absurd. It's just absolutely absurd. I mean, people say, "Oh, get those Chinese away from me." It's like
we saw someone.
It's got nothing to do with them as a people.
We saw someone on Instagram, didn't we? A British person on our Butty Instagram posting, "Would you please order Chinese?" You know,
it was on Twitter. Yeah,
don't go out to a restaurant.
Don't go out to a restaurant.
But if you order takeaway, could you consider making it Chinese?
Because a lot of people, a lot of businesses over here and in the UK have reported, our sales have suddenly taken a slump.
Yeah.
Due to the coronavirus.
Chinese restaurants.
Chinese restaurants. Yeah. They're reporting a slump in sales because. Oh, no one's ordering from us because they think we've got the coronavirus. Yes. It's like, it's absolutely ridiculous.
It's absurd.
It's absurd. It's like, you're not going to catch it.
You're not going to catch the coronavirus by ordering Chinese food. Like, stop. You know?
Just stop it.
Stop it.
And it's the same, I went on factchecker.org to look at this as well. Over here, the coronavirus has nothing to do with the brand of the beer.
The Corona
beer. And despite reports of sales of the beer being down because of the coronavirus, apparently that's not true.
Okay.
They're actually doing quite well. Corona.
I would have been.
You know, the sales are up.
I would have just been like in complete shock if that was true. Like, how stupid are people that they're not buying Corona beer because it's called Corona? You know.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
It's just. It's like the same people who rush to buy toilet paper.
Yeah.
Because, the factories are shutting down in China and we're not going to get any more toilet paper. Or we're not going to get anything from it. Well, India has, limited their exports. Because they don't want to export to countries just in case they get a lot, they get a lot of cases of the coronavirus and they need their supplies.
Yeah.
So India and Pakistan or all them places, they're not or Bangladesh, they're not exporting at the moment. So, of course, the stock market is taking a hit.
The stock market's taking a hit.
Huge hits.
You guys, I mean...
Saudi Arabia has pretty much tanked it, hasn't it?
A bunch of movies have pushed back their
premieres. Yeah. I mean,
because people are not wanting to go to the movie theater and sit next to other people. Or at least Hollywood is afraid that a bunch of
happen. Movies. The only one I've heard of so far is No Time to Die, the James Bond film.
Well, I think that's the biggest, but other movies have.
Other movies have too. Yeah, no, I can't remember which one it was. Now I looked up
here in Austin.
South by Southwest was cancelled.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's understandable.
They're still gonna have smaller venued events relating to South by Southwest, but you guys in Austin,
it's a big draw.
I think if you talk to Austinites, unfortunately, I'd say that a majority of them don't mind South by Southwest.
Majority would be like, South by Southwest cancel a big
yeah, because it's causes,
murder on the traffic.
Yeah, it causes a lot of extra traffic. There's a lot of tourists here. It's just like
and plus,
but business owners are going
to be like, oh.
Yeah, especially in the restaurant and hospitality industry.
Hotels.
Yeah, it's that's going to hit this city hard.
Yeah, because I mean, there'll be no profits. From that, and tourists, and I'm wondering if people have booked their thing already, if they're going to come anyway, but they may not. They may just cancel it because coronavirus could be in Austin.
I haven't heard.
Which it is apparently.
I haven't heard how much it's hurting I haven't heard how much it's hurting the travel industry. I know that I think it was
a couple of airlines.
United made a statement.
A couple of low budget airlines in the UK are going under.
Really?
Yeah, but I mean they're cheap anyway because I mean they looked for bailout from the government and the government apparently were going to do it, but then they didn't.
Yeah.
And and it's because no one's traveling because of the coronavirus and everything. But I mean, they needed those passengers, so they're going to go under.
I mean, we try not to make this podcast too political, but you can't really get around the issue of, they keep urging people, stay at home if you're sick. If you have a cough, if you feel unwell, don't go to work. In this country, in America, most people do not have paid sick leave.
They don't have paid sick leave, and they're not going to stay in the house. They're going to be driving around. They're going to be doing things. They're going to be going to the fast.
Well, no, it doesn't matter. They're not going to stay home from work. If they need the money...
they love work.
Well, no, if they need the money, they're not...
Well, if they need the money, they're not going to do it,
They're not going to stay home. You don't get paid sick leave. They're going to work if they have a cough.
But also, you've got to... see the fact that if no one's going to that business, so everyone stays home, and you work at a fast food place, they're going to be like, we're going to close today because there's going to be no business. We don't expect anyone to come out tomorrow.
No, my point is,
and so they're going to get no money anyway.
If you're not getting paid to stay home from work when you're sick, what is the motivation to stay home? You need the money. You've got bills to pay. You're going to work.
Yeah, because I mean,
sick or not,
the coronavirus doesn't affect the creditors or the bill payer, billing people, the utility bills or anything like that. You've got to go out and make money.
I believe Italy has sick pay.
So Italy has sick pay. Yeah, but it's kind of like how long are they going to let that go for?
Well, I mean, if they're trying to stop the spread of a disease, then they're gonna have to suck it up. They're gonna have to pay their people if they want them to stay at home, I would imagine.
And it's the same in the UK, and I think that's why they haven't said stay home, don't go to work, in the UK, because the government don't want to have to subsidize whatever,
but it's
businesses who are like, oh yeah, we're going broke paying all our workers and they're not at work, we're paying them sick pay,
but the alternative is to for everybody to catch this disease, then it's going to weigh on the NHS.
Oh yeah, oh yes.
So
apparently they've come out and said, the government have come out and said, the NHS will get everything it needs for this.
Yeah.
if there's a massive epidemic, it spikes, it's getting in everything it needs. Don't know if that's true or not, but,
Yeah.
We shall see.
So, yeah, I mean, it's a mess, and all you can do is really just cover your mouth if you cough.
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands.
Like a good boy and girl.
Stay out of large crowds at the moment if you need to, like, don't be going in mosh pits at concerts and stuff.
Yes. Don't be going places where there's a lot of people breathing on you and knocking into you.
No, we do have to say, this is not airborne. This is not...
it's not an airborne virus,
This is not the movie Outbreak, It's caused by people coughing or sneezing on inanimate objects that other people are then going to touch and then going to, eat something with their hands or stick their finger up their nose or rub their eyeball or whatever, and they've already got the germs on their hands. It's transmitted like that. It's not transmitted by someone with the sickness breathing on you, Now, possibly if someone coughed right in your face, you could probably catch it, I guess.
I mean, I've seen, if
you licked your lips then afterwards.
On this London forum that I'm part of on Facebook, they take pictures of people on tube, and there's people with gas masks, full-blown gas masks on, not just those little, surgical masks. They've got full-blown gas masks on, and they're just sitting there, and it's just kind of that's not going to do anything, mate.
Yeah.
Take it off. Don't you know there's not a war on?
Oh my gosh. We don't mean to laugh about it, especially if you know somebody who has the coronavirus.
Get them laughing.
It can be serious, but we also, you also need to, everybody
balance
needs,
it.
Everybody needs to take a breath.
All
take
things
a deep
in balance.
Breath. Calm yourself.
Calm yourself
Think
down.
Think logically.
Have a cup of tea.
Do the things
Have a biscuit.
Do the things you know you need to do in order to stay healthy anyway.
Yeah.
And, just be smart. Be smart about it. Don't panic. And anyway, if there is anybody with the coronavirus listening or with a family member with the coronavirus, our thoughts are with you, and we are sure that you will get better.
Yes.
Yeah.
You will get better.
Other than that, I think...
And you can tell that to everybody because the Tea and the Buddy podcast told me I'll get better.
Yeah.
And so there you go. Positive vibes,
we just said...
Positive vibes.
As we just said, stay home if you don't need to go out and be in crowds. I'm going to take that back. If you're listening if you're listening today on voting day and there's still time, please go out and vote. If you're an American, if there's a primary in your state today, please go vote and make your voice heard. And just don't breathe on anyone. Don't breathe in anybody's air. Don't touch anyone. Wash your hands after you've been in the voting booth and you'll be all right. Yeah. Don't let this affect your vote, please. Yeah. And
I think that's it.
I think that's it. Yeah. Hopefully,
I think we're all coronavirused out.
Hopefully we haven't scared you to death.
And hopefully we haven't given you the coronavirus.
Yeah. As always, thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate your support. Mm-hmm. If you can and would like to help us spread the word about our podcast, not the coronavirus, but the word, give us a rating and a review on iTunes or
Spotify,
wherever you're listening to this, and we would appreciate that. And we'll talk to you next time.
We'll talk to you next time.
Bye.
Goodbye, everybody.